What is up, guys? Jake from One Hive here with a video that I did not plan to put out, but I was sitting in my recliner and a video from Chief Pat popped up and a video from Galadon popped up, and I listened to them and I go and I listen to Daddy's tweets that he's been sending out some lately, and I go to Molt's page and I see that 90% of what he posts these days is not Clash of Clans, and it just sort of all comes together, and I feel like I wanted to address it for you guys. I know some people will love this video, some people will hate it, and that's okay. But I always try to shoot you guys straight and tell you what I'm thinking, tell you where I think the game's at, tell you what I think needs to be done to improve the game, or where it's great, where it falls short, etc. So that's what this is going to be about, the rant to end all rants, the one that rules them all, I guess. And it is going to be talking about the game at first, and then I'm going to actually give specifics. That's one criticism that I think is a fair criticism that I've got in the past, is that I tell what's wrong with the game, but there's no here's how I would fix it, constructive criticism type thing. So I want to be fair, I want to be constructive, and so that's how we're going to end it, is talking about each aspect of the game, what I think it needs to be fixed. So starting off, you listen to the Pat video and you listen to the Galadon video, and what is so striking to me, what just caught my attention and sort of shocked me, is the lack of communication from Supercell. And it's funny because it's what we've been screaming as a war community forever. You know, there's only, I think we love the game as a war. I mean, think about it. These guys released war. Think about how great what they released was day one. Now, yeah, it had some problems. Hogs were too powerful, things like that. But in general, think about how wonderful war in Clash of Clans in and of itself is. It was so good right out of the gates. And early on, right away, we were asking for some changes. Here's what we think needs to be changed. And what we heard for a year and a half was crickets. We wanted them to respond and talk about modding and what they plan to do about it. We heard nothing. We wanted to have arranged matchups. We've never heard them truly respond to that, besides one time Jonas saying that's a lot of work. We want them to do, I won't get into the list yet because I've got that towards the end of the video, what we actually want as a community. But in general, the point is, we've never really had any communication from them. And that's when I did this Dear Supercell video. That was what I asked. You know, I said, here's what we want really, is for you to communicate with us. And now everyone's upset. Pushers are upset. Farmers are upset. Everyone in this game right now has something to gripe about. And they are leaving in droves. Back in the summer, I told you guys that I thought that Supercell had till the end of the year to do something about the war, to make these certain changes, or that I thought people would start bailing, they'd start leaving. And around November, I missed it by a little bit, but around November, they started leaving just by the handfuls, and they're still leaving. I get messages all the time on my comments. Jake, I've had enough. You know, I'm out. I love your stuff. I'll always appreciate your videos, but I'm out of here. I'm not playing any more Clash. And I hate that. I hate those messages. I hate those. Again, nothing against those people. I'm saying I hate that that's where it's at, and that people are getting that frustrated to leave the game, because I think there's some easy fixes that they could do. But now you're seeing Chief Pat and Galadon saying, I'm getting those messages. Farmers are telling me that. Pushers are telling me that. I've had enough. I'm out of here. I can't believe, you know, and they're getting some blame for it because they're the big YouTubers, or the guys that are over there at the events and that are at the Supercell headquarters, you know, 6, 7, 10 times a year. And for them, and what was so crazy about it is that in both of their videos, they both say, guys, I have nothing to tell you. I can't tell you anything. I don't know anything you don't know. I don't know if they're even working on this. I don't know if there's going to be changes coming. I thought for sure there would be. Now I'm not so sure. And think about if you owned a game and you ran a game to where it was big like Clash of Clans, and you had a YouTuber like Pat that has 1.5 million subscribers and has the largest volume of a way to draw in comments and get a feel for the community, what they want, what they're upset about, what they like, what they don't like. And you don't have any better relationship with him than to not give him any more information to say, hey, Pat, tell your guys, we're working on this. We hear him. You know, this is what's coming. This is what's going to happen. He's telling you, I don't know. I would think that they were working on it, but who knows now? I'm not so sure anymore. And that is so disheartening for a lot of Clashers out there. But it's also, you know, in a strange way, a little bit of a sense of I don't want to say joy because it's not. It's very unfortunate, and I have a lot of apathy for not only farmers and pushers, but for all of those guys that are having to go through this. But in a way, they're getting a little taste of what we have gotten for the last year and a half. When we asked for things, and all we heard was crickets. Now they're asking for this, and they're hearing nothing. There's silence. There's no feedback. There's no response. They're treating them the same way that they treated us, and it's so bad. It's such a PR nightmare, a disaster, a potential. I think for a long time, Supercell might have had the attitude, even if it was an unconscious thing, of we're too big to fail. We're too big to. It doesn't matter. There's nothing we can do that will ruin this game, and people will always play it. And I think maybe they need to realize that that's totally not the case. People are leaving so fast. I think they're leaving faster than they're coming for the first time ever. They're leaving than are starting the game up, and that is that's bad news. And if they don't do something about it quickly, it could be too late. This could roll out of control, and the slides start, and it's really hard once someone leaves to get them back. If someone left the game last month, a war guy said, "I've had enough. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting for balance at the end of the game," and in 3 months they release an update that sort of balances Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11. They still might not come back. It's not even if they arrange wars. There's almost nothing you can do to get someone that's truly jaded, that's truly had enough, to get them back to your game. So they really need to address it quickly. And in my opinion, they need to completely revamp the way they deal with their community from the ground up. Maybe new people, and say, we are going to communicate with our gamers, with the people that pay our salaries, with the people that play our game, with the people that keep the lights on. We're going to communicate with them possibly daily, if not definitely weekly. You look at a game like Vainglory, weekly developer streams. The developers are sitting there on the camera, answering questions, talking about what's going on in the game, talking about things that are wrong with the game, how they plan to fix them, talking about what's going to happen in the future of the game. That is what Supercell needs to do with Clash of Clans. The players want to hear that stuff. They want to know. The hardcore guys, whether it's farmers, pushers, war guys, they want to know what you're going to do with the game. They want to know you hear them when they tell you you are having a problem with the game. There's something you don't enjoy about the game. There's a way you think it can be improved. Even if the answer is no, they want to know you hear them. And you have your two largest YouTubers, your poster boys, the guys that you put the face of Clash of Clans, telling his people, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're working on this or not. I don't know anything because they don't tell us anything. Think about that. Let that soak in for a moment. It's such a contrast to what we have all known our entire Clash lives. I've been playing this game for 2 years now, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen Pat and Galadon. Upset's not the right word, but worried, I guess, probably is a better word. And nothing from Supercell, crickets. It's astonishing. It's what it is. And if someone doesn't grab the reins, and if someone doesn't get control of this thing, it can spin out of control before they know it. Clash of Clans got big in a blink of an eye. It can fall apart in the blink of an eye. If Supercell doesn't believe that, they really need to wake up and get some people in there that understand that. They need to, again, revamp how they deal with the community. They need to be an open book. It's fine to keep secrets for updates, things like that. But as far as what's in the game, what they plan on doing, they need to be transparent. They need to be communicating. They need to be a completely open book for the viewers, for the players, to say, here's what we're doing, here's why, here's what we're thinking. Okay, yes, we are aware this is not working. Here's what's coming. We're going to adjust this. We're going to adjust that. And I think they will have. People can handle it as long as you say, hey, I understand. I understand what your problem is. But when someone's telling you we have a problem and you never respond to them, people can't handle that. People can be very patient as long as you're communicating with them. But when you break that communication, the patience goes out the window. And again, this is what we've been dealing with for so long. The lack of communication, the lack of anything we've ever asked for. I've heard people say recently that, war guys just like to complain. They don't even know what they want. We're going to get into that in a little bit because we know exactly what we want. I've done videos about what we want. It's just never came. None of them. There's not one thing on the list that has ever came for the war community. And now the 99%, the masses have been rattled, have been upset. Their loot's messed up. Their farming's messed up. Trophy pushing's always been messed up. And I'm going to talk about how I would fix each one of those aspects. But it's interesting to see now that they're getting the same treatment, the same cold shoulder, the same silent treatment that we've gotten all along. Because farming, in essence, has always, there was that one time back a long, long time ago, I don't know if some of you guys were even around then, where loot just dried up. But they fixed it in short order. It's maybe 3 weeks, a month tops. And all of a sudden, they fixed it. This has gone on for about 3 weeks now, and nothing, and not even a message from Supercell. Hey guys, it's coming. We're fixing it. We're going to fix loot. We're going to get you guys more loot. So we'll see what happens in the future. But it's so, when I watched those videos from Pat and Galadon, I just couldn't help it. I had to do a video about it because I really think that we are at a huge crossroads here. It's so insane, and not just fixes. They can't just fix a few things and continue to kick the can down the road. Like I said, they've got to change the way they deal with their player base. So we'll see what they do going forward on that. But let's get into the details. Let's get into the specifics of how I personally, just suggestions, would fix each of these things. And again, I'm not a hardcore farmer. I do farm. I understand farming. Pushing, I'm not a pusher. Highest I've ever been is champs. But I have talked to guys. I talked to a guy tonight in Legend League about what he thought. He completely agreed with me. This is a guy in Legend League. So I don't think I'm alone in these suggestions. Let's start with farming because it's the simplest, I think. I mean, farming's pretty basic. People want loot, and they want more loot than what they're getting. So there's only a few ways you can fix that. A lot of guys look at it as how much loot am I getting per hour? So they really like to do cheap armies and get good returns on that. So there's only 2 things you can do to fix farming. One is more dead bases. People like the idea of Barch or, Jai Barch or whatever, and getting these huge, massive raids. Either if they have to search for, 5 minutes before they find one, just getting that massive return on a very cheap army. And if Supercell doesn't want to do that, and that's an option. Bring back, let player bases that are inactive stay in the queue longer before they go, before they take them out. Just increase that time, whatever the time is. We don't know because they don't tell us, but increase that time. Then the other thing you can do is to increase the bonus. Now, if Supercell, it seems like in their last update, what they're going towards, what they want is to see more expensive armies used, or quote more, more real armies, or more strategic armies, trying to get into the base and getting the base taken out, as opposed to just sniping those full collectors on the outside. And that's fine. I actually think that's a better way to do it. I don't think dead bases are the way it ought to be. You shouldn't just constantly have Barch built up and be hitting, collectors on the outside for, 500K of each thing. That's not really playing the game, in my opinion. But if they want to do it that way, a lot of people like that. So I could see it happening. But if you want to continue down the road that they're going of pulling the town halls inside, making people actually attack the bases, then simply drastically increase the loot bonus. And I think the percentage thing is good. If you get 50%, you get this much bonus, and if you get 100%, you get twice that much bonus. But you have to increase it. What they did was nothing. There was no increase. It was actually a decrease, because most of the time people bring these cheaper armies. They only get 50, maybe 60%. They're not even getting as much as they used to get for a town hall sniper as far as bonuses. So drastically increases the bonuses, maybe double what they are now for 100% 3-star attack. If you get 50%, maybe about what they are now as far as for 100%, or what, I guess if you get 70%, you get all of it. So basically doubling the bonuses, I think, is in order, somewhere along those lines. And then people wouldn't mind bringing these armies to get those. They can decide, do I want to just get that 1 star, that 50%, and get out with a cheaper army, or do I want to bring the real deal, build it up lower, and get twice as much loot as the guy that's doing it the cheap way? Then you have people, they can do it however they want to, but it's still, they're getting that reward for what they're doing. And I think either one of those are fine. I would take the latter option. Greatly increase the bonuses, and then farming's fixed. There you go. You're not going to hear another word out of the farmers. They're going to be happy. More loot, they're going to be happy. It's that simple. How there's no communication there, it blows my mind. Hey guys, we hear you. More loot's coming. Period. One sentence from a dev saying, we hear you guys, more loot's coming. Everybody would be happy. It would buy them a month of time if they said that. It blows my mind. But anyways, moving on. Trophy pushing. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I think that you need to make the system in place of attacking bases based on where you're at trophy-wise makes no sense. And that's why you have guys that are up in Titan, up in Legend League, that are sitting in the clouds for 30 minutes staring at a white screen. They're not playing the game even. They're getting incredibly frustrated. They don't want to do it anymore. It's not fun. So if you change it to where every base that is in your range, your like I said, for lack of a better term, a war weight for trophy pushing for your base outside of that, out in the wild, then you open up that to where it's instant. It's no different than being in Silver League or Gold League or Crystal. You're going to get a base instantly, and make the trophies. Again, it has nothing to do with where you're at cup wise. It's all based on percentage again. The 1 star, the 50%, gets you the minimum amount of trophies. You increase it as you go up to 100%. You could have set numbers, guys. Let's say that 50% is 5 cups. You get 5 trophies if you win 50% on any base. Okay, wherever you're at in the game, it doesn't matter if you're a Town Hall 7 or if you're a Town Hall 11. You get a 50%, you get 5 trophies. As you increase that percentage, you get 60%. You get 7 trophies. As you get 70%, you might get 10 trophies. As you get 75%, you get 12 trophies, whatever. You increase it up to where you get 100%, maybe you get 20 trophies. And there you go. That's pushing. If you lose, it's based on if someone hits you and they're a little bit stronger than you, you would lose a little bit less trophies, depending on their percentage, how much they wreck your base for. If someone's a little bit weaker than you and they get you, they might get a few more trophies, but you completely rebuild it, and that way there is no more clouds. There's no more guys that are, if they want to push, they can push. They can go as high as they want to. They can hit bases all day. You want to talk about how they wanted to pull these town halls inside because of all those bases were in their words invisible. They were out of the game. They were removed from the game because they were getting town hall sniped. Well, what about the Town Hall 11 that's in gold? Is he not sort of invisible? Is he not sort of removed from the game? Who's hitting him? You know how many Town Hall 11s are in gold? He's doing the same thing. Open that guy up to being attacked by Town Hall 11s that are in Legends, that are in Titan League, that want to push. I think you're going to see a much happier trophy pushing community if you implement something like this. And to prevent abuse, you simply put a cap on Town Hall levels and how high they can get. For instance, Town Hall 7, Crystal as high as they can go. They can't get into Masters. Town Hall 8, Masters is as high as they can go. Town Hall 9, Champs is as high as they can go. They can't get any more. They can still farm. They can still do, get successful attacks, get bonuses, but they don't get any more cups. It doesn't allow them to progress past that point. Town Hall 10 and 11, they can go all the way to Legend League. So that prevents, these guys from Town Hall 7, just building up dragon armies and getting to Legend League, crazy things like that. It's real easy fixes. That's pretty much it. Now, the other thing that goes along with trophy pushing is the shield system and the getting kicked off the game. You can only be on so long. Completely remove it, guys. No reason to be kicked off the game ever. Every so often, your base can be attacked. It doesn't matter if you're online. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be hit when you get the shield, fine. It's so long that you can't be attacked. But remove all this complicated madness of personal breaks and all that stuff. Make it to where if you get 1-starred, you get a 10-hour shield. If you get 70%, you get a, whatever, however you want to make it. Increase the shield time. But every so often, you're in the pool and you're being able to be hit by guys in your Town Hall range. If you're a maxed out Town Hall 9, maybe you can get hit by a really early Town Hall 10 to a mid-level Town Hall 9. If you're a Town Hall 11, fully maxed out Town Hall 10s or Town Hall 11s, things like that. It just makes sense, and it opens up such a pool of players and of available targets that you're no longer going to have this problem that's plagued the pushing community forever. That those top guys, they have no one to hit. They got their shields. They're riding their shields out all the time, and they're sitting in the cloud for 30 minutes for a few trophies. It makes no sense. So that's how you fix pushing. And finally, coming to war. And the number one thing that has to be done, and it has to be done 6 months ago, a year ago, fix modding. Stop talking about how you've got a plan for it. Just fix it. The next update, and it needs to be quick. You say you've got a solution for it, give it to us. Priority number 1, before anything else, fix the cheating in your game. We've been saying it for a year and a half. Fix the cheating in your game. It's rampant. It's out of control. You got to fix it. Make it priority number one. If you have to hire a new team to fix it, do it. Number two, arranged wars. Please don't tell us it's too much work. It's the one thing that if you just implemented arranged wars and did nothing else, you would see smiles on war guys' faces for months and months and months. That's all you have to do. Arrange wars. Please, just give it to us. Another thing that you could do, but we're going down the list here. In fact, I'll put that at the bottom. The next thing, if we're going in progression of importance, is balance at Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11. I don't see you going back and changing things and balancing Town Hall 9 or rebalancing Town Hall 9. So forget about that. Town Hall 10 is very close, guys. I would start with one troop upgrade. Maybe hogs, maybe balloons. See what works. Test it. If you need help testing it, if honestly, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, if no one there is able to test the troop upgrades to say, hey, here's a good balance at Town Hall 10 for these high-level guys, then bring in some high-level war guys to test it for you. How is that a bad thing? Make them sign an NDA. You bring them in. You give them a developer iPad, whatever, and you give them a few weeks, and I promise you guys, we would love to be able to help you get the balance right. We don't want easy 3 stars. We want it to be very difficult. We just want it to be possible. And it's not far off. I really think maybe a troop upgrade would do it, would put it there. So please try, and Town Hall 11, it's out of whack too. Again, if you need help, reach out. Use your community to your advantage. Say, hey, we need some guys that can help us get this balance right because we want it as bad as you do. We don't want easy attacks. We don't even want everyone to be able to do it. That's sort of the point. That's sort of the glory, is being able to do something that other people can't do. And they looking at that saying, wow, that's impressive. That's insane. How did he do that? So it needs to be very, very difficult. People have said, or people say, oh, well, that's what they were. They thought they wanted easy 3 stars. That's insane. No one from the war community has ever said they wanted easy 3 stars. It needs to be difficult. It needs to be very difficult, but it needs to be possible. So balance Town Hall 10 and 11, please. Then the last thing is small wars that we've talked about at 5 versus 5. Last an hour or two, just sort of pickup games. But let us do it in between wars. Let's do it in prep day. For a war guy like me that really only plays this game for war, the 24 hours between wars is sort of dead. It's sort of boring. That brings me back into the game. That brings me back in to the online to possibly spend gems, to gem an army, to do a lot of things. It's going to increase your revenue, and it's going to make the war community happy. So something along those lines, real quick pickup wars, 5 versus 5, something in there, and last an hour or two, and just a fun way for us to get more attacks in, to play the game more, and to enjoy the aspect that we all love. Because 2 attacks every other day is just it's not a lot. It really isn't. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that has been constructive enough that I think the negative stuff towards Supercell is completely warranted. I mean, my goodness, you've got Chief Pat and Galadon saying they have no idea what's coming. If you guys are working on this, they don't know anything because you don't tell them anything. Think about that. Reconsider the way you deal with your game and with the way you deal with your community. And I think you will have a much happier community. People that are willing to wait longer for things, as long as you let them know, here's what was coming. Here's what we're working on. We hear you. We know this is what's wrong, and we're going to fix it, and here's how. I think you will see patience go through the roof, when right now what you're seeing is people with no patience, and that is why. And guys, videos like Pat and Galadon put out actually help this. They help the problem of Supercell's PR policy. So support those videos. If you haven't seen them, go give them a watch. Go give them a like if you like it. Give them a comment. Let them know what you think about it, because we need to support those guys when they speak about this stuff and say, hey, even us big guys, we're not getting any feedback from them. It's crickets for us as well. So go and watch those videos and support that. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the text in the background. This was a long one. As the title says, one rant to rule them all. Hopefully this qualifies. Until next time, Jake from One Hive doing my best to help you guys suck less.